Welcome to another episode of Real Talk about real estate and real stuff.
With
Kelsey Wakefield. Oh, with realtors. Okay, with Kelsey Wakefield and Brandy Laffins.
Awesome. Okay, so this topic today is going to be our 2024 predictions.
Oh,
And this is the
we got out our crystal
What?
ball. We think we know.
2024 market predictions. Well, there's, like 7 main housing sectors or what would you call it? Businesses, companies that make predictions about the market. They've been coming out the last 2 months or so. So we've been paying attention to those, seeing what everyone's kind of saying and trying to surmise it or average them out a little bit.
Everybody thinks they know.
Everyone thinks they know and they don't know.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about
But
the
here's
first
us thinking we
prediction.
know and we might not know.
Yeah,
But we're going to give it a go.
I mean, I think that I kind of know, but
I think we have a handle.
What do I know?
We have a handle on it.
So we think, let's talk about prices.
Okay.
We think prices are going to go up a little bit.
A smidge. Is this going to affect your purchasing power? Probably not.
No.
It's, a lot of companies are saying 2%.
Or less.
Some are saying a little higher. Some are saying lower. There's even a few saying that we'll see a slight decline. But we want to make sure we're focusing on our area in Chico. And in Chico, we do foresee home prices going up 2%. Where you're going to feel it, you probably won't feel it in your mortgage payment, but you are going to feel it at the offer table when you're making offers against other offers and having to go over asking a little bit. So
When you say when you're going to feel it, are you talking about the buyer or the seller?
the buyer, well, both
Yeah.
a little. I'm thinking buyer from the buyer
Right.
perspective. First-time home buyers, I mean, you might end up having to bid up a house again, which we're hoping we're out of that situation.
Right, that's all an
but
inventory situation, which
inventory
leads into the next prediction. I mean, it really just depends on the inventory, whether you're going to have to pay more for the house and the price of the home too.
Yes.
So if it's in that hot stage, then yes, you might have to pay a little bit more than asking price. But what's going to happen with inventory, do you think? I mean, we're thinking it's going to stay about the same.
Yeah, I mean, in Chico, we've been the same.
Or
I mean, we
lower.
were pretty low, actually. We just haven't been high for a while.
Right.
And I don't foresee a big change. Kind of similar to prices, where we might see a little bit of an increase, we might see a little bit of a decrease. Really depends on seasonality as well. So we have a lot less inventory in the winter than we do in the spring. So we have to look at that year over year. But I think overall, like this spring, I don't anticipate a whole lot of change.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's probably going to be about this. I think it's going to be a little bit higher. I think we're going to have a little bit more inventory. But I don't think, again, same with pricing, it's not going to be anything that's super significant. Which we wish it would be. And we'll talk about that at some point. But yeah, we need more inventory. We need more homes for sale. We need more opportunities for people to buy.
Yes. And then there's the different sectors of the market where it's like your starter home, your condo, mid-range, upper range. So if we get more inventory in the $1 million price range, that's not going to help the majority of the buyers in our area.
And then that leads into the next segment, which is the number of sales. I mean, it all relates. It's all relative to each other, right? I mean, so it doesn't sound like we're going to get too much higher in the number of sales next year.
No, it's predicted to stay around 4 million nationwide, not here in Chico. Chico, we've had a lot less sales the last 2 years now. So I think next year will probably, again, stay the same, if not maybe a few more.
I think people will have gotten used to the
6%.
Yeah, the rate, and say, okay, I do want that home that has the pool versus the one that doesn't, and I am willing to pay a little bit more for that. But what may happen is they don't sell the house that they're in. They may just keep it and not sell it. But people are still going to have life issues, death, divorce, all the things we've talked about in the past. So I think because of life, we'll get some inventory on the market, but
Probably
people
not
just,
a huge difference.
Probably about the same.
Years. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Boring.
All right. Rates. Where do we think rates are going to be? They are under 7% right now, which is great. And a lot of experts are saying they're going to remain between 6 and 7%. No one's really saying they're going to get down into the fives like like 2 months ago, people were saying that it could get into the fives by the end of now this year, 2024. Now we're not hearing that.
No, I think the Feds just came out with some other news. So who knows what the hell they're going to do. But at the end of the day, it's also an election year.
It is. Yeah. True.
They
That could
always
throw a
say an
wrench in
election year
things.
slows down the market. I've never noticed it personally, but I don't like run charts and graphs and equations. No.
Didn't know that about you. Rates tend to get better in election years, though.
It shouldn't. That doesn't make
know.
sense to me, but they shouldn't have anything to do with
Someone
that.
has a nice little button. I don't know.
Influence. Okay, so
And then
that's
refinances. I mean, I just had a little blurb here from Fannie Mae are saying that refinance mortgages as well as mortgage purchases as well. What am I trying to say? Purchase and refinance mortgage originations, that's a very fancy term for getting a refinance or a mortgage, are expected to decline in the first 2 quarters of 2024 and then go up in Q3 and Q4 of 2024 and climbing even higher in 2025.
But I just don't think it's still anything that we can bank on because there's only this many people that got into that like high 7 to 8%, 7.5% to 8%, let's just say, maybe 7 to 8, that are just going to take the time to go and refinance for 6.75. I mean, it's probably not worth it to do it until if it drops in closer to 6 or 5.75, then I think you'll see some more refinancing, but
we might see some cash out refinances.
Yeah, that's true.
I've heard those have gone up a little bit. Just
Show me the money.
People they have all this equity in their home and they're like, well, I'm going to take it out since I'm staying at this house.
Right. Might as well.
All
right. More
What about
more
agents?
predictions.
Yeah.
Oh, agents. I think that a lot of agents are going to get out of the business.
Yeah, a lot of people thought we'd see that this year. In Chico, we didn't see that at all. Basically, we saw agents coming into the market. In Chico, nationwide, we've seen a bunch leave the industry.
I think one thing that we have to think about is it depends on who the agent is. So there are, I would say, I'm just going to guess here, 80% of the agents that's a high number. I feel like a lot of agents that are in the business are not the primary breadwinners for their, and so it doesn't matter whether they make a lot of money or not necessarily. There are a lot. I won't say 80%, but there are a lot that are in it just as kind of a side gig, which makes me crazy. I won't go into that. But some of the people that have to have this as their primary, if they need to make money, I think those people are probably going to get out or they're going to join a team instead of being a solo agent.
Yeah. And those numbers are hard too because you can keep paying your dues every year and have a license and you're considered one of those numbers, even though you're not transacting. So
yeah, there are over 600 realtors in Chico and probably only 200 to 300 of them even do anything.
Yeah, so take it with a grain of salt. And then Zillow, we think Zillow is
going to continue to kick butt and take names. Zillow has, it's a multi-billion-dollar company.
Yeah.
And they have always done really well, and they're going to continue to do. I mean, the iBuyer thing didn't work out for them, but
there's one little blip.
They have purchased so many companies related to real estate. Now they're getting into the mortgage industry. And if it is true, I have not checked the data, but we did hear that more people Google Zillow than they do real estate. Then Zillow is becoming
synonymous
with real estate.
Yep.
So I think they're going to continue to grow and probably dominate in the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see what Zillow does.
I don't necessarily like it, but you know what they say, if you can't beat them, better join them.
We're riding the wave.
The Zillow wave. So,
all right.
But I will say at the end of that, a disclaimer is that if you know your realtor and have a realtor, don't call Zillow first.
Call your realtor.
Call your realtor. All right. Okay. Is that it for our 2024 predictions?
That's a wrap. Thanks, guys.